There are a lot of very good people having a very frustrating time in the job market at the moment. Many great people with wonderful CVs, great track records, who are finding it difficult to find that next career opportunity. And I thought it'd be useful to share some of the advice that we've been giving to these people to help them maximise their chances of finding that next great career opportunity, because it is a frustrating time, undoubtedly. So I'm going to give you 3 tips that we've been sharing with everyone we've been speaking to in the past few months. But first, let's just talk about why so many people are on the market. Well, the people I'm talking about are often very senior, experienced people who've had well-paid jobs at the top of growing organisations in a better climate. But as things have been so challenging in the last 12 months with the wider economic climate, the challenges in the private equity and venture capital markets, funds have been tight, and in a lot of cases, people have lost their jobs largely because they're just quite a large cost in an organisation. They're expensive, big salaries, all the packages that go with that. And so it's been a frustrating time for these people. And these are sort of people often reach out to us because they're in our network. So what I've been saying to them, well, the first thing I say to these people is you're an industry stalwart, you've been around for years, you've got a strong personal network, you've got to really maximise the value of that personal network. You've got to get out and talk to people that know you, know your capability, respect your professional achievements, and that's often a way that a lot of jobs get filled through personal networks, particularly at senior levels in the tech world. And so really cultivating and nurturing your networks is a very important part of that job search. Not only because it maximises your chance to find something through a known quantity, but also from an emotional perspective, because when you're sat at home and there's not an awful lot going on in terms of the advertised market, and we'll come to that in a moment, you need to feel like you're doing something. You need to feel like you're trying your best to find something. And so that gives you some purpose each day when you sit down at your desk and think, okay, what can I do today to maximise my chances of finding a good role? So really cultivating that network is very, very important. Secondly, the advertised market. Well, that can be a very frustrating space indeed. A lot of organisations are advertising for roles that don't appear to move forward at any pace. Great people are applying for roles that they think they're well suited to. Some cases not even getting a response or getting a rejection with no first interview. It's a very, very frustrating experience for these people. And what I say to these people is focus on quality rather than quantity in your applications for these roles, because there are so many roles that you might get fed through LinkedIn search search alerts or Google search alerts, whatever, or the job boards you might be using. Really focus on the roles you think you've got a very strong pedigree for. Be realistic about what you can do. Don't be too aspirational. Think, am I going to have a strong story to sell if I'm sat in front of the hiring manager for this role? Or when you find those sorts of roles, give it everything for your application. So, you might tailor your resume or your CV to suit the role with the particular skills and experience you've got. Write a really good covering letter. Don't just copy and paste the one you use for another job advert. Personalize it. Make it specific to the organisation. Show that you've done some research on the company. You think you've got relevant domain expertise, or you've got a particular track record that suits the level of maturity or growth phase that they're at. Really try and connect your experience with this organisation's journey. And then when you've done that, try and get some visibility with the hiring managers. Don't just wait for whoever's doing the first screen on the CVs to come back to you, because that person might not know what people like us know about what makes a strong candidate, or might not recognise some of the names on your CV. So really try to give everything to the individual applications that you make, to put more time into the ones you've got a good chance with. Don't waste your time on roles that you're just not suited to. And finally, and there's no way to sugarcoat this, there's been a realignment in salary. So if you've been in a big, senior, well-paid role historically, those roles are few and far between at the moment. So you might have to take a little bit of a pragmatism, really, a bit of a reality check on what the market's paying for your skills at the moment, and focus on non-monetary factors like the product, the company's product, their growth journey, whether there's equity and things like that in the package, and whether actually it can be a good long-term home for you, where you might ultimately earn what you want to earn, but in the short term, you might have to take a little bit of a hit to achieve your objective of getting back into a good, meaningful and enjoyable career role. So that's the 3 headlines I've got for you. Of course, I've got so many other things we can share. So if you're having difficulty and you're in that digital procurement and supply chain space, please do get in touch. I'd be happy to try and help out, and of course, potentially connect you with some of the opportunities that we're working on. Okay, thanks. Hope you found that useful. Welcome any feedback.